Hello, my name is James Cason, and I'm your librarian for ENC 1101. In this video, I'm going to introduce APA style, mention some of the differences in APA style from MLA style, and show you how to cite common sources in APA style. If you have any questions about citing sources in APA style, I am in your Canvas course and you can contact me by sending a message. APA style is typically used by students and researchers in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and medical fields, education, nursing, and other similar areas. The good news is that while APA style may look a little different than what you're used to, you will still follow the same basic process of locating authors, titles, publication information, dates, web addresses, and so on to create your citations. Your Little Seagull Handbook and the library's Citation Center has lots of examples you can use to make sure you are citing your sources correctly. So, let's get started and look at APA style. Here are some differences in the general structure of MLA and APA style papers. With MLA style, you didn't have a cover page. Instead, the heading with your name and class information and the title of your paper go on the first page where your document text begins. The document header contains your last name and page number on the right margin of the page. In APA style, a paper starts with a cover page containing your name and class information and the title of the paper. The APA style cover page also calls for an author note, but your instructor may not require this. The header for the first page of the paper contains the phrase running head with a colon followed by an abbreviated title of the paper in all capital letters aligned at the left margin and the page number aligned at the right margin. Running head appears only on the first page of the paper. Put only the abbreviated title in all capital letters and page number on all other pages. You can set this up in Word by using the different first page option in the header and footer tools. An APA style paper also includes an abstract page after the title page. The abstract is a short summary of the entire paper along with keywords related to the main idea of the paper. Your instructor may or may not want an abstract page, so verify this with them. Include the title again on the first page of the text of your paper. Like MLA style, text in APA style is double-spaced with 1-inch margins at the top, bottom, left, and right. Use 12-point Times New Roman. Indent each paragraph by 1/2 inch. In the body of the paper, APA style allows for section and subsection headings to label your paper. You will find these headings useful when organizing information in your paper. Section headings are in bold text and centered, while subsection headings are in bold text and aligned at the left margin. The last page of an MLA-style paper is the Works Cited page, which includes all your sources in alphabetical order. An APA paper has the same thing, except it is called a References page. Both are double-spaced with a hanging indent after the first line of the citation or reference. Now let's talk about citing sources in APA style. Here is a citation for a source in MLA style and the same source cited in APA style. Here are some of the differences. In APA style, you do not write out the author's first name. Instead, you write the author's last name, put a comma, and then the initials for their first and middle if present name. With multiple authors, list each author's name like this, separated by a comma up through 7 authors. Place an and symbol before the last author's name. For sources with 8 or more authors, do this for the first 6 listed authors, put 3 periods, and then put the last author listed on the source. Dates of publication hold more importance in APA style, so they appear earlier in citations than MLA style. Dates go in parentheses with the year first. If there is a month or month and day, put a comma after the year and include them here. If a source does not have a publication date, you need to note this by using lowercase n period, lowercase d period for no date in the places where the date would usually go. If you have sources that do not credit an author, you cannot start a citation with the date. In that case, the date would move behind the next element in the citation. Capitalization of titles of magazine articles, journal articles, newspaper articles, web page titles, as well as the titles of books, are treated differently in APA style. Only capitalize the first letter of the first word of the title, the first letter of the first word of the subtitle if present, and any proper nouns. All other words in the title are not capitalized. Titles of magazines, journals, and websites follow title case capitalization rules, where the first letter of the first word of the title, subtitle if present, and all major words are capitalized. Next is publication information. For books, this will be the city of publication and publisher's name. For magazines or journals, this will be the volume and issue number and page numbers. For electronic sources like web pages, you do not need to include publication information. Finally, there is electronic access information for web pages and articles you find through the databases. This comes in the form of a retrieval statement, retrieved from and the URL for the web page, or a DOI or digital object identifier for academic journals, which I will discuss more in a moment. You do not need a date of access in APA-style citations. Let's look at some specific examples of citing sources in APA style. Here is a web page from the World Wildlife Fund, and the template for a web page citation in APA style. Always first is the author if present. For this web page, there is no credited author, so we will omit this and go to the next element, which is the date. This page has no date of publication, so you would put N period D period in parentheses. However, you can't have a citation start with a date, so this will move to after the next element, which is the title of the web page. The title of this page is called History. This would go first, followed by the date. For web pages, the title of the website is not required like an MLA style. So finally, there would be a retrieval statement, retrieved from and the URL for this page. When you reference this source in the text of your paper, the in-text citation would be a combination of the title of the web page, or for long titles, the first few words and the date. When in an in-text citation, the title of the web page is placed in quotation marks with a comma and then the date. Here's how the in-text citation would appear for this source. When you locate a magazine article in a library database, you will usually have a way to access a computer-generated APA-style citation. Check these citations against your Little Seagull Handbook and LSSC Library Citation Center to make sure all parts of the citation are correct. You will usually find problems with capitalization that need to be fixed. Here is an example of a magazine article from the Academic Search Complete database. The Cite button opens a window where you can locate an APA-style citation for the article. Notice that all the major words in the title are capitalized. You would need to change this so that only the first letter of the first word of the title and any proper nouns are capitalized, and the other words are all lowercase. Notice there is no retrieval statement at the end of this citation. You will need to add this. For magazines from databases, don't use the address at the top of your web browser. Instead, locate the home page for the magazine and use just this web address in the retrieval statement. You may also have to correct the date by adding a month and day. For articles from academic journals that you find in the databases, you must do a few more steps to make sure the citation created by the database is correct. Here is an example of an academic journal article from the Academic Search Complete database. Again, you can click on the Cite button to access an APA-style citation. Here's the APA-style citation template for this type of source. After the authors, date of publication, title of the article, name of the journal, volume and issue number, and page numbers, you will have either a retrieved from URL statement or a digital object identifier or DOI. Academic journals include a special code number called a digital object identifier. This is simply an additional method to locate the article. When citing an academic journal in APA style, if there is a digital object identifier, it goes at the end of the citation and you don't need to include a retrieval statement. The databases are usually good at adding a DOI to the citation when it is present, but you may need to check the actual PDF of the article to see if one is there that the computer may have missed. If after looking you can't locate a DOI, then for the retrieval statement you only need to use the web address for the journal. This means you will have to do a web search for the journal, go to its homepage, and copy and paste this address into the citation, like this. Academic journal articles usually have more authors than other sources. When you create in-text citations for them, there are some rules to remember. For 2 authors, name both authors each time the work is cited in the text of the paper. For 3 to 5 authors, name all authors in the first entry, and in subsequent entries, use only the first author followed by et al. For 6 or more authors, name only the first author followed by et al. each time you cite the source in your paper. Notice also that the page number is part of the in-text citation. You will usually have articles in PDF format for academic journal articles you get from the library databases. In the in-text citation, include the specific page number where the information you quoted or paraphrased appears in the article. Finally, let's look at images and video files. In APA style, you can add information to show the role of the author or creator to a citation to give it more meaning. Videos can have several people who can be credited as an author or creator depending on the context of how you're citing it. For example, producer, director, writer, performers, etc. You can also add information to show the format of a video by placing it in square brackets after the title. Capitalize the titles of videos like you would the titles of magazine and journal articles or book titles. Notice in this example of a video from the Films on Demand database that writer in parentheses has been added to the author's name and video file was added in square brackets after the video title. Remember that sometimes to find an individual and how they contributed to the video, you may have to watch the beginning or end of the video and look at the credits. For YouTube videos, the user's screen name is always listed. Cite this if no additional author is given. Here is an example of where the parts needed for a YouTube video citation can be located on the YouTube video screen. If an author's name is provided, cite it first. List the screen name in brackets immediately after the author's name. In this video, Kurt Vonnegut can be considered the author because he is presenting information in the video. David Comberg is listed in brackets after Vonnegut's name since this is a screen name of who posted the video. You can see on the YouTube video screen where the other parts you need for the citation are located. Images cite in a similar manner with formats such as painting, photograph, and online image in square brackets after the title of the image. I can't cover every possibility of citation in a video, so keep these tips in mind. Number 1, determine what kind of source you are trying to cite. This will help guide you to the correct example. Number 2, use the examples in your Little Seagull Handbook and the library's Citation Center to create your citations. Number 3, check citations generated by the databases against the Little Seagull Handbook and the library's Citation Center to make sure everything is correct. And number 4, when you're not sure how to cite a source, contact me through Canvas messages.